All right, so you're prepping for a marriage counselor interview.
That's fantastic.
We're diving deep into RoleCatcher's resources
Oh, yeah.
to help you nail it.
Awesome.
Think career guides,
Yeah.
sample
Yeah.
interview questions,
Okay.
even some AI stuff.
Cool.
We want you to walk into that interview feeling confident and ready to shine.
It's really about so much more than just reciting textbook answers, you know?
Right.
It's about letting that passion for helping couples shine through
Yeah,
and showing what skills you bring to the table.
absolutely. RoleCatcher really emphasizes that interviewers are looking for more than just a degree.
Mm.
They want to see genuine passion.
Yeah.
So you know what drew you to this field.
Mhm.
What moments solidified this path for you?
Oh, those are great questions to reflect on.
Yeah.
And when you share those moments in the interview, let your sincerity shine through.
Mm-hmm.
So let's dive into some common interview questions that RoleCatcher provided.
Okay.
A classic one is, what inspired you to become a marriage counselor?
It seems simple, but it's a chance to make a really strong first impression.
Exactly. Instead of just listing reasons, think about crafting a compelling story.
Right.
Did a specific event spark your interest?
Okay.
Was there a mentor who inspired you?
Mm-hmm.
Briefly share that story, showing your enthusiasm and commitment.
Yeah.
Remember, they're looking for the driving force behind your career choice.
So it's about showcasing the why behind the what.
Yeah.
Now, what if they follow up with, can you elaborate on a specific experience that solidified this path for you?
They want concrete examples.
Right.
So think about maybe a volunteer experience where you saw the positive impact of couples therapy firsthand,
Hmm.
or perhaps a personal anecdote that sparked your interest in relationship dynamics.
Okay.
Sharing a specific experience helps you move beyond just telling and into showing.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
It's about bringing your passion to life.
exactly.
Okay, here's another one from RoleCatcher. Describe your counseling approach and how it can benefit couples.
This is where you articulate your unique style.
Okay.
Are you drawn to active listening,
Mm-hmm.
empathy-focused therapy, or a blend of approaches?
Right.
Remember, there's no one-size-fits-all.
Yeah.
And instead of just naming the techniques, give a quick example of how you've used them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So RoleCatcher suggests saying something like, by using active listening, I was able to help this couple.
Exactly. For example, you could talk about how you helped a couple communicate better
Okay.
by reflecting their feelings and summarizing their concerns.
Mm-hmm.
Connecting your approach to tangible outcomes shows you can apply those techniques.
This is super helpful.
Yeah.
Now let's get into some trickier scenarios.
Okay.
One that stood out from RoleCatcher is, what strategies do you use to encourage hesitant couples to seek counseling?
This is where you demonstrate your finesse.
Okay.
Remember, it's not about pressuring them.
Right.
RoleCatcher highlights the importance of addressing their fears and building trust.
Mm-hmm.
You could talk about creating a safe, non-judgmental space where they feel heard.
Maybe even mention offering a free initial consultation.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
It gives them a low-pressure way to explore the process.
Exactly.
But what if they push back and ask, imagine a couple on the fence about counseling. How do you approach that initial conversation?
Put yourself in their shoes.
Okay.
What would you need to hear if you were skeptical, but deep down knew you needed help? Sharing anonymous success stories can be powerful,
Yeah,
or emphasizing that seeking help is a sign of strength, not weakness.
right.
It's about gently guiding them without minimizing their concerns.
Subtle but effective.
Mm.
Okay, switching gears a bit. RoleCatcher brought up the importance of cultural sensitivity.
Yes.
How do you navigate differing cultural or religious beliefs in sessions?
It's crucial to demonstrate respect and understanding.
Okay.
Never impose your views.
Right.
Instead, highlight your commitment to cultural competence.
Mm-hmm.
Mention specific training or experiences you've had in this area.
Like attending workshops on multicultural counseling?
Or working with couples from diverse religious backgrounds.
Exactly. Maybe even share a brief anonymized anecdote
Okay.
about successfully navigating a culturally sensitive situation in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Showing your experience in action is key.
Okay, here's another tough one from RoleCatcher. How do you handle situations where one partner is more resistant to counseling than the other?
This is a common dynamic.
Yeah.
You can't force someone into therapy,
Right.
but you can try to build rapport with the resistant partner.
Okay.
Explore their specific concerns. Are they feeling ganged up on? Do they feel like their perspective isn't valued?
Right. It's important to validate their feelings
Mhm.
and acknowledge their right to be hesitant.
Exactly, and emphasize that you're there for both of them,
Yeah.
even if their goals seem at odds.
Okay.
Now imagine the interviewer digs deeper with, How do you balance the needs of both partners in these situations?
That's where it gets tricky.
Yeah.
How do you navigate that power dynamic?
Talk about setting clear boundaries and expectations while remaining flexible.
Right.
Maybe mention utilizing individual sessions alongside couples sessions.
Mm-hmm.
It's about finding a balance that empowers both partners and makes them feel safe.
This is gold.
Good.
I'm starting to see how these RoleCatcher questions really make you think.
Yeah.
Let's keep this momentum going. What about dealing with divorce?
Okay.
How do you approach sessions where a couple is considering this huge decision?
RoleCatcher stresses exploring all options
Mm-hmm.
before making such a life-altering decision.
Right.
Are there avenues for reconciliation left?
Okay.
It's not about pushing an agenda,
Right.
but helping them make the best choice for their situation.
So it's about providing a supportive space for them to process their emotions
Yeah.
and consider all their options.
Exactly.
But what if the interviewer asks, have you ever worked with a couple where one partner was adamant about divorce while the other was desperate to save the marriage? How did you navigate that?
Emphasize creating a safe and neutral environment where both partners feel heard.
Mm.
Talk about facilitating open communication,
Right.
helping each express their needs,
Yeah.
and exploring potential compromises.
Right.
It's about acknowledging the complexity and guiding them towards the healthiest resolution, even if it means separation.
Now, shifting gears a bit, RoleCatcher's AI can be a real game changer.
For sure.
It analyzes job descriptions to pinpoint the exact skills employers are seeking.
And then it helps tailor your resume
Yeah.
and even practice your interview answers to match those needs.
It's like having a personalized coach in your pocket guiding you every step of the way.
Exactly. Speaking of guidance, RoleCatcher's career guides offer a wealth of information beyond interview prep.
Oh.
You can explore different specializations within the field and find the perfect niche for you.
That's fantastic. But let's continue with those interview questions.
Right.
This next one is a bit sensitive. How do you handle situations where a couple is facing financial challenges?
Money can be a huge stressor for couples.
It's not just about budgets.
You're absolutely right. It's about the underlying emotions.
Okay.
Power dynamics, fear, resentment.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about how you help couples explore their beliefs and values around money,
Right.
identify triggers, and develop healthy communication strategies.
Yeah.
It's about going beyond the numbers.
Okay, last question for this section. This one from RoleCatcher feels particularly delicate. How do you create a safe space for couples to open up about intimacy issues?
This is where your skills in empathy and non-judgmental validation are crucial.
Okay.
Normalize these challenges.
Mm.
Emphasize that many couples experience fluctuations in intimacy.
Yeah.
And seeking help is a sign of strength.
Right.
Maybe even mention using techniques like mindfulness exercises or
Okay.
communication prompts.
It's about creating an environment where they feel comfortable being vulnerable.
Exactly.
These RoleCatcher questions have been incredibly helpful.
I'm glad.
What are some key things our listeners should keep in mind as they prepare for their interviews?
Remember, it's about showcasing your passion, your skills, and your commitment to ethical practice.
Right.
And don't forget to tap into those amazing AI-powered resources to refine your answers
Yeah.
and boost your confidence.
Absolutely. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here. Now, I take a quick break and come back for part 2, where we'll dive into even more interview strategies and explore how RoleCatcher's career guides can help you navigate your path in this rewarding field.
Sounds great. So let's jump right back into those RoleCatcher interview questions.
Okay.
You know, sometimes interviewers will throw in a curveball
Oh, yeah.
to see how you think on your feet.
Right.
One example might be,
Right.
how do you approach a couple's first session when you know very little about their situation beforehand?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
It's about demonstrating your flexibility
Mm.
and your ability to gather information effectively. Right.
Exactly. You could talk about starting with open-ended questions.
Okay.
Like, what brings you both here today? Or, what are you hoping to achieve through couples counseling?
Hmm.
Active listening is crucial in that initial session,
Right.
as is creating a space where both partners feel safe to share their perspectives.
So it's less about having a predetermined plan
Yeah.
and more about being present and responsive to what the couple brings to the table.
Precisely. And now let's imagine they follow up with,
What?
what are some red flags you would look for in that first session?
Oh,
This is where you can demonstrate your clinical judgment.
interesting. What kind of red flags might come up?
You could mention things like a lack of willingness to engage in the process,
Okay.
one partner dominating the conversation,
Mm-hmm.
or a history of violence or abuse.
Right.
It's about showcasing your ability to assess the situation,
Yeah.
and determine the appropriate course of action.
Okay, so you're demonstrating both your clinical skills
Yeah,
and your ethical awareness.
exactly. Now let's shift gears to a topic that's essential for any therapist.
Okay.
Continuing education. RoleCatcher emphasizes the importance of staying up to date with the latest research and best practices.
Right.
They might ask, how do you ensure you're continuously developing your skills as a marriage counselor?
This is where you highlight your commitment to lifelong learning.
Right, be specific.
Okay.
Mention attending conferences, workshops, or seminars related to couples therapy. Talk about reading relevant books and journals.
Yeah.
It shows you're dedicated to staying at the forefront of the field.
So instead of just saying, I read books,
Yeah.
you might mention a specific book that influenced your approach.
Right.
Or a recent training that enhanced your skills.
Exactly. You could say something like,
Okay.
I recently attended a workshop on emotionally focused therapy, and I found the techniques to be incredibly effective in helping couples deepen their connection.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's about showcasing your proactive engagement with professional development.
For sure.
Now, I'm curious, have you encountered any particularly insightful questions during your own interviews?
One that always stuck with me was,
Okay.
can you share a time when you had to adapt your approach to meet the unique needs of a couple? Interviewers love to hear about your problem-solving skills.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
It's an opportunity to showcase your flexibility and ability to think outside the box.
Exactly. You could talk about a time when you had to modify your communication style
Okay.
to better connect with a couple from a different cultural background, or how you adjusted your therapeutic goals to align with a couple's changing needs.
Yeah.
It's all about demonstrating your adaptability.
This is super helpful.
Good.
Now, let's touch on a topic that can be a bit sensitive.
Okay.
Dealing with strong emotions in sessions.
Yeah.
RoleCatcher mentioned that interviewers might ask, how do you handle situations where a couple is expressing intense anger or frustration during a session?
It's about staying calm and centered while creating a safe space for those emotions to be expressed. You could mention techniques like validating their feelings,
Right.
setting boundaries, or using de-escalation strategies.
Yeah.
The key is to demonstrate your ability to manage conflict effectively.
So it's about acknowledging the intensity of their emotions
Yeah.
while also maintaining a therapeutic container.
Exactly. It's a delicate balance. Now, before we move on, let's circle back to RoleCatcher's AI for a moment.
Okay.
Did you know their AI can analyze your interview responses and provide feedback?
Yes. I was blown away by that feature.
It's amazing, right?
Yeah.
You can practice answering questions, record yourself, and get personalized insights on your delivery, word choice, and tone of voice.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's like having a virtual interview coach right in your pocket.
Exactly.
The AI can even suggest alternative phrasing or ways to structure your answers. So it's not just about practicing in front of a mirror. It's about getting data-driven feedback to help you refine your communication skills.
Exactly. RoleCatcher's AI takes interview prep to a whole new level. Now, let's dive into another question that might come up.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on the role of technology in couples therapy?
That's an interesting one,
Yeah.
especially with the rise of telehealth and online counseling platforms.
You're right. This is a chance to showcase your awareness of current trends and your openness to incorporating technology into your practice.
Okay.
You could discuss the benefits of telehealth,
Yeah.
such as increased accessibility and convenience,
Right.
while also acknowledging the importance of maintaining ethical and privacy standards.
So it's about showing that you're adaptable and tech-savvy while also prioritizing the well-being and privacy of your clients.
Exactly. Now let's imagine they ask, what are some challenges you anticipate in working with couples, and how would you address them?
This question is getting at your problem-solving skills and your ability to anticipate potential obstacles.
You're right. You could mention challenges like dealing with resistance,
Okay.
managing power imbalances, or navigating infidelity.
Right.
And be sure to highlight your strategies for addressing these challenges,
Yeah.
whether it's through clear communication, setting boundaries, or seeking supervision.
It's about demonstrating that you're not naive to the complexities of couples therapy
Yeah,
and that you have a toolkit for handling difficult situations.
exactly. Now, let's take a moment to highlight another valuable resource from RoleCatcher.
Okay.
Their career guides. Have you had a chance to explore those?
Yes, they have in-depth guides on different specializations within couples therapy,
Oh, awesome.
like working with blended families, navigating financial issues, or addressing trauma.
It's like having a roadmap to help you discover different niches and find the perfect fit for your passions and expertise.
Okay, Back to those interview questions.
Right.
RoleCatcher mentioned that interviewers often ask about self-care practices.
Mm-hmm.
For example, they might say, how do you manage stress and prevent burnout in this demanding field?
This is where you showcase your commitment to your own well-being.
Right.
Be specific about your self-care strategies.
Okay.
Do you exercise regularly? Meditate?
Yeah.
Spend time in nature?
Okay.
Have hobbies that bring you joy?
It's about demonstrating that you prioritize your own mental and emotional health, which is essential for providing effective and compassionate care to your clients.
You've got it now. Let's say they follow up with, can you share a specific example of a time when you felt overwhelmed or stressed in your work and how you managed the situation?
This is a chance to showcase your self-awareness and resilience.
Exactly. Be prepared to share a brief, anonymized anecdote that highlights your ability to recognize your own needs, implement healthy coping strategies, and prioritize self-care to maintain your well-being.
Okay, I'm starting to feel like I could ace these interview questions.
Awesome.
This is all so helpful.
You're doing great. Remember, it's all about preparation and showcasing your authentic self. Let's keep the momentum going. What other questions did RoleCatcher provide? All right, let's tackle a few more questions from RoleCatcher's resources.
Right.
One that often comes up is, what are your strengths and weaknesses as a marriage counselor?
The classic strengths and weaknesses question.
Yeah?
It can be tricky to navigate.
You're right when discussing your strengths. Focus on qualities that are directly relevant to the role,
Okay.
such as empathy, active listening skills, or the ability to build rapport quickly.
Right.
And when addressing weaknesses,
Yeah.
choose something you're actively working on improving and frame it positively.
So instead of saying, I'm bad at time management,
Yeah?
you might say, I'm working on improving my time management skills by using a scheduling app and prioritizing tasks.
Exactly. It shows self-awareness and a commitment to growth. Now let's imagine they ask,
Okay.
how would you describe your style of communication with clients?
This is about showcasing your ability to connect with couples in a clear and compassionate way.
You're spot on. You could describe your communication style as warm, empathetic, and non-judgmental.
Okay.
Maybe even mention that you tailor your communication to each couple's unique needs and preferences.
So it's about demonstrating that you're adaptable and responsive to their communication styles.
Exactly. Remember, building rapport is crucial in couples therapy, and effective communication is the foundation of that rapport. Now, RoleCatcher also emphasized the importance of asking thoughtful questions at the end of the interview.
Oh, go.
It shows you're engaged and curious.
What kind of questions would you recommend?
Think about questions that demonstrate your interest in the specific role
All right.
or the company culture. For example, you could ask, what are some of the biggest challenges and rewards of working with couples at this organization? Or can you tell me more about the team dynamic and the opportunities for collaboration?
Those are great questions.
Yeah.
It shows you've done your research and you're genuinely interested in the position.
Exactly.
Now let's say you've nailed the interview. You're feeling good about it.
Okay.
What about the follow-up?
Sending a thank you note is essential.
Right.
It reinforces your interest and leaves a positive impression.
Okay.
Email is perfectly acceptable,
Mm-hmm.
but a handwritten note can add a personal touch. The key is to express gratitude, reiterate your enthusiasm, and briefly highlight something that resonated with you from the conversation.
So it's not just a generic thank you.
Right.
It's about showing that you were paying attention and you genuinely connected with the interviewers.
Exactly. It's a small gesture that can make a big difference now as we wrap up this deep dive. I want to emphasize that you have so much to offer as a marriage counselor.
Yeah.
Your passion for helping couples is evident, and with the right preparation and mindset, you'll shine in that interview.
Absolutely. And don't forget to leverage those amazing resources from RoleCatcher.
Yes.
Their AI-powered feedback and in-depth career guides can make a world of difference in your journey.
Remember, you've chosen a rewarding and challenging field, and your skills and empathy are invaluable. Trust in yourself, showcase your authentic self, and go rock that interview.
You've got this. And remember, we're always here to support you on your path to helping couples build stronger and more fulfilling relationships. Until next time.